Cleopatra VII, often referred to simply as Cleopatra, was the final monarch of ancient Egypt and the last ruler from the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Macedonian Greek lineage that had governed Egypt for almost 300 years. She was a shrewd and calculating leader, adept at using both familial and romantic ties to secure her power. Cleopatra's political maneuvers included bearing children with Roman leaders, marrying her own brothers, eliminating rivals within her family, and appointing her young son as co-regent to solidify her authority. Cleopatra's sibling rivalries, incestuous and deadly. Cleopatra was born around 70 or 69 BCE in Alexandria, Egypt, to King Ptolemy XII. The identity of her mother remains uncertain. During Cleopatra's early years, her father was ousted from power by rivals, leading to her older sister, Berenice IV, taking the throne. Cleopatra accompanied her father to Rome, where he secured backing to reclaim his position. With this support, he returned to Egypt, overthrew Berenice, and had her executed. In 52 BCE, Cleopatra was made co-regent alongside her father, ruling together until his death the following year. After her father's death in 51 BCE, Cleopatra and her younger brother Ptolemy XIII, who was about 10 years old, became joint rulers of Egypt as their father had wished. Following the custom of the time, the siblings likely married. However, tensions quickly arose, leading to Cleopatra being forced into exile by Ptolemy XIII. During her absence, another sister, Arsinoe IV, attempted to seize the throne as co-ruler. When young monarchs ruled, the true decision-makers were often their advisors. Ptolemy XIII's decision to exile Cleopatra was likely influenced by his advisors. Both he and Arsinoe IV were probably guided by ambitious tutors, eager to advance their own interests. While much about Cleopatra's own advisors remains unclear, her father likely served as a key political influence. After being driven out of Egypt, Cleopatra sought Roman support to regain her throne, a tactic she had seen her father successfully employ during his own period of exile. Having ruled alongside her father in his final year, Cleopatra likely learned valuable lessons in leveraging Roman power, which she later applied in her quest to reclaim her rule. Cleopatra allies herself with Julius Caesar. Cleopatra secured the backing she needed through a relationship with Julius Caesar, a prominent Roman leader who was already married. With Caesar's assistance, Cleopatra regained power in Egypt in 47 BCE, becoming co-ruler with her younger brother Ptolemy XIV, whom she married after Ptolemy XIII drowned in the Nile. In the same year, Cleopatra gave birth to her first child, Ptolemy XV Caesar, commonly known as Caesarion, which translates to Little Caesar. This name suggests that Julius Caesar was likely the child's father. After Caesar's assassination in 44 BCE, ancient accounts suggest that Cleopatra orchestrated the death of her brother Ptolemy XIV, her co-ruler, to ensure her son Caesarion could take his place. Unlike her teenage brother, the young Caesarion posed no immediate threat to her authority. Following Caesar's death, Cleopatra quickly aligned herself with another powerful Roman figure, blending both political strategy and romantic involvement. Cleopatra's love affair and children with Mark Antony. Mark Antony, a close ally and distant relative of Julius Caesar, rose to power after Caesar's assassination as one of the three leaders of Rome's second triumvirate. Like Caesar before him, Antony forged a strong political and personal connection with Cleopatra. In 41 BCE, at Cleopatra's urging, Antony ordered the execution of her sister, Arsinoe IV. A year later, Cleopatra gave birth to twins, Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene II, fathered by Antony. Their relationship, much like Cleopatra's with Caesar, was complex. Antony was already married when his affair with Cleopatra began. In 40 BCE, the same year Cleopatra gave birth to their twins, Antony's wife passed away, and he subsequently married Octavia, the sister of his political partner Octavian, to solidify his political alliances. Despite this marriage, Antony and Cleopatra resumed their relationship after a period of separation. By 36 BCE, their union produced a third child, Ptolemy Philadelphus. Antony and Cleopatra's relationship was driven by strategic political goals. Cleopatra sought to preserve Egypt's autonomy from Roman domination, while Antony aimed to leverage Egypt's wealth and resources to strengthen his position against his rival, Octavian, who was Caesar's adopted son. Antony attempted to undermine Octavian's claim to power by emphasizing that Cleopatra's son, Caesarion, was Caesar's biological heir, thereby questioning the legitimacy of Octavian's rule. The escalating tension between Octavian, Antony, and Cleopatra culminated in the War of Actium in 32 BCE. The Roman Senate declared war on Cleopatra, and Antony, aligning himself with her, joined the conflict. The two were married during this period, but their union was brief. By 30 BCE, as defeat at the hands of Octavian loomed, both Antony and Cleopatra took their own lives. The outcome of the war resulted in Egypt falling under Roman control, with Octavian emerging victorious. A few years later, he solidified his power as the first Roman emperor, adopting the title Caesar Augustus. Cleopatra and Antony's daughter, Cleopatra Selene II, was married off to a ruler within Rome's North African territories, though the fate of their sons remains uncertain. Caesarion, Cleopatra's son with Julius Caesar, likely met his end on the orders of Caesar Augustus, eliminating a potential threat to his reign.